Alright, so what I've done now is I got the transmission secured with a lifting strap. And I've got to get off the this bracket here for the transmission mount. So 4 5/8 bolts on it. I'll pull that off and get to our last bolt under here, which I couldn't get before because of the transmission bracket. So hopefully I get that off, get this thing off, and then try to get the transfer case out. So let me keep on going. Forgot my battery for my DeWalt impact wrench, so it would have been easier to use that, but yeah, this isn't so bad, I guess. Alright, so that's the bolts. Let me get the last 3 out and go from there. Alright, so it's 4 bolts down here, and yeah, they've been on here forever, never been taken off, so they're a little hard to get off, but not too bad. I think what I'll do also is I'll get this mount off of here, and what I'll do is I'll sandblast this and repaint it also. Sorry about the noise in the background, guys. It's just an air tank or something over there. Other people next door. That's not the way you want to do it. That impact wrench would have worked really nice, you know. But what are you going to do? We'll just use this one here. Problem is, there's not a lot of room here. Extension works, but it's kind of wobbly, you know. Let's try it again. Last one to go. Being a little bit difficult. I should get my breaker bar really, but I just don't feel like getting up again. So let's try hitting this again with the hammer, see what happens. No, I'm not liking it. Let me get my breaker bar real quick and before I strip out that bolt. So hold on. All right, so we got the breaker bar on it, and I used the end of the wrench here just to give it a little more leverage. Assuming that will probably take it out. Here we go. Oh yeah. So that worked out pretty good. Probably should have did that from the first time, huh? But, all right, that's enough for that. Let's get the ratchet on it. Get this thing off. Still not sure how I'm gonna get this out yet. I should have brought the forklift over, but I didn't. So I might just definitely take this off and loosen up that last bolt back there. And maybe I had to take the cross member out too. So I might have to take the other. It's not a cross member, but it goes on the bottom. I'm not sure what you call it. Come on. One of those days today. All right, so that's the bracket for that. And the bolt I couldn't get to is right here, so let me see if I can break that loose. Where's my wrench? It should be a 14 millimeter, I believe. 14, yeah. So I couldn't reach this one before, but persuasion, I guess, huh? Ah, it's not gonna fit. Yeah, we got it anyway. All right, so let me get this off and get the rest of these off and support the transfer case somehow. And my plan is kind of just to hopefully just lower it down. We'll see how that works. So let me get the rest of these bolts out and we'll go from there. All right, so all the bolts are loose. And I think it's just a lot of corrosion in here maybe, but it's just doesn't want to come out. So I've been using a hammer with a block of wood. I'm not hitting it too hard. I don't want to break anything. But I think if I can just break that up a little bit, I can, you know, maybe loosen this thing up. I don't know, but let me try a few more hits with the hammer and see if we can maybe loosen it up a little bit. But if that doesn't work, I'll take the whole thing out at one time. So I know it's probably not the way everybody else would do it, but what are you gonna do? You know, it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna break it. I got the wood on there, so I think I'm all right with that. Might be doing something. Might be. Not sure if you guys can see it here, but I actually do see a little bit of a line here. I didn't see that before, so it might be working. Let me keep going with this for a little bit and see if I can get at least to come out a little bit. Then I know it's actually working. So hang on one second. Well, not too successful with the hitting with the hammer and the wood, you know, but it did break it open a little bit. But I don't know. I guess I have to go to plan B and just pull the whole thing out at one shot, I guess. So that's what we'll do next. So, you know, let me go get my forklift and we'll set it up and get our bell housing bolts out and see if we can just take it out at one shot. All right, so as you can see, the spot here is definitely getting bigger. It's got more of a gap in it. It's been about a week now since I showed you the last thing I did to this. It's probably the same video, but it's been about a week later. What I did is I put some PB Blaster in here for about a week. Just after work, I'd spray it in here and let it soak in, and seems to be working pretty well. Let me give it a few more hits with the hammer and the block of wood and see if I can get it loosened up a little bit more. It's getting close. I don't know if it'll come off, but it is getting closer. Getting there. Definitely making some progress. Show what we got here. All right, so yeah, it's definitely getting bigger here. Let me loosen up these bolts a little bit more. I probably should put a strap on this. I don't want it just to fall out on me. So let me get a strap on this and we'll keep on hitting it a little bit. All right, so I've got it set up on some straps here. A little overkill on the straps, but what are you gonna do? Better be safe than sorry. I really don't know how it's gonna come out. I'm gonna take the rest of the bolts off, the nuts on the transfer case, and give it a few more hits and see if it comes out. So let's see what happens. Grab my hammer. Let's take the rest of these out anyway. Actually, that one's pretty tight. You know, this might come right out more faster than I think, because there's a pretty big gap on here now. All right, I think that's all. I think there's one more down there. I gotta get the wrench on it. It seems pretty tight. So let me get a wrench on that. Here we go. So we'll see what happens, right? I think it's gonna come right out. Either it's gonna come out easy or it's gonna come out and land on the floor. I don't want the floor on. All right. Come on. That whatever's in pretty good. Come on. All right. Grab that in a minute. Damn, that's one heavy duty freaking fork. All right, let me go to the other side and give it a few hits with the wood. We'll see what happens here, right? Fortunately, I got my straps around the wood. Around the it is getting there. It's just not being very friendly, I guess. Well, still pretty tight on the bottom, so let me see if I get something between here. I don't want to break the aluminum, but let me see if I get a very thin screwdriver or something. Maybe I can pry this open a little bit. Let me try that. All right, so finally got it apart. Not off yet, but it is apart. I put some tension on the forklift to bring it up, and I got the pry bar in there, just really gently around the whole thing to break it loose, and it just finally popped off. Now, hopefully it's in here right, and then I can just lift it off, I hope. I think we'll have to see. Let me go off the other side. Maybe I can pull it back a little bit, or maybe I can side shift the forklift a little bit. Let's try that. All right, well, it's out. It didn't fall. So let me re-tie this thing up a little bit more, and then I can lift it up out of here. But just to give you guys an idea of what's holding that thing in. You know, if it's never been out of your truck before, look at all this corrosion crap that came out of it. You know, all that was in here. So that's what's holding it together. That's what everybody says who takes these apart. Sometimes they're very hard to get apart. So PB Blaster and a little persuasion, I guess that's the way to do it. But you can see it all over here too. Look at all that junk. Amazing, huh? But we'll get it all cleaned up, and let me restrap this thing so I don't lose it, and we'll get it pulled out. Well, it doesn't look good, but let's see if it works. Side shifted. It just looks a little funky, but it's all right. All right, let's hope for the best. Around the cross member. Hang on, let me disconnect it. Alright, try it again. Alright, I think we're good. I'm gonna back this thing up and put it on the ground. Alright, so that's all set finally. It took a while, but had an hour here, an hour there, if that. So I think I did all right. But the PB Blaster around here, that made I think the really big difference on this thing, because I mean that corrosion just really corroded itself together. I mean, there's a lot in there. But what are you gonna do, right? So here's the other side again, and there's a lot in there too. It's all kind of like a powder. Weird stuff there, but I'm not gonna use it anyway, but I will clean it up, make sure it's right, and go from there. So let me work on the transmission next.